Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm just going to do a quick throwback review on the iPhone 8 Plus from 2017. This video will also be applicable in a lot of ways to the standard iPhone 8, but I've only just got the 8 Plus in my hands here. And I'm just going to go through the specs and see how it performs almost 5 years later after it was released. So if you're interested, stick around. So the iPhone 8 series was released back in September of 2017 alongside the brand new iPhone 10. Now the iPhone 8 series was essentially a repackaged iPhone 7, of course with some improvements to the camera system and the performance. But the most notable difference between the iPhone 8 and the older iPhone 7 series was the fact that they added a glass back to the iPhone 8 series, which then would allow the first iPhones to have wireless charging. Now personally, this gave this phone a much more premium feel to it rather than the standard metal design that you would have on all of the iPhones previous. But aside from that, pretty much everything else on how the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus look are exactly the same as the iPhone 7 series. So you've still got the dual camera on the back. On the front you've got a 5.5 inch LCD display with pretty thick bezels around the side and then these big chin and forehead. So on the chin you've got your power button with the integrated fingerprint sensor, and then up the top you've got your selfie camera with the earpiece. So looking at it, it's very similar to the 7 series, but it has a much more premium feel than what those phones did have. Now when it came to internals, it came with the new Apple A11 Bionic processor, which is a 10 nanometer processor up from the 16 nanometer of the A10 Fusion. So this improved vastly on power and efficiency of this phone. So battery life was a lot better on the 8 Plus than what you would find on the 7 Plus. In terms of camera specifications, the 7 megapixel selfie camera is unchanged from the 7 Plus. Then you've got your dual 12 megapixel main and telephoto camera on the back, which again is basically the same as the 7 Plus, except you'll get improved image processing from that A11 Bionic processor. You do get improved RAM options. If you pick the 8 Plus over the standard 8, you get 3 GB of RAM on the 8 Plus, whereas you're stuck with just 2 GB on the standard 8. But you also get a starting storage of 64 GB on both models, up from the 32 GB on the 7, and then you get 128 and 256 GB options as well. Of course, neither are expandable, as has been the case with all iPhones and probably will be for the foreseeable future. Okay, so what is the iPhone 8 Plus like to use? Well, it's just like your typical iPhone from back then. Touch ID on the front with this not button, but you get your haptic feedback every time you press it. And then everything else is just like your typical iPhone. You know, iOS 11 was what this phone came out with when it was first released, but of course we are now running the newer iOS 15.3.1. So although being released in 2017, you've probably still got 2, maybe 3 at a push years of updates on this phone, as we all know that Apple are really good at providing software updates for their older phones, normally around 6 years. So everything is pretty standard. Icons are arranged in the normal blocky sort of arrangement, no apps drawer or anything like that. And then you've got your camera, which you've got your 2x telephoto effort as well. And then if we just turn around, you get a 7 megapixel selfie camera, like I said before, and that's unchanged from the 7 Plus as well. But in terms of how the phone feels in the hand, it feels absolutely awesome. I mean, this glass back is so premium, aluminium rails, it's everything that you would want from a premium smartphone, even in 2022. The only downside, of course, is just that slightly dated design with those thick bezels on the front, whereas, you know, obviously nowadays, if I just grab the iPhone 12, that's really bright, hang on a minute. The iPhone 12, which of course has the notch at the top and the all-screen design on there. So Like I say, pretty dated design, but in terms of how everything performs, it's very, very responsive. There's no lag or anything like that, and I don't think you'll find any lag on it for the foreseeable future, at least for the next couple of years, until these updates do start taking the toll on the A11 Bionic. But like I said, I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. I'll do a quick little slide at the end with a few photo samples just so you can have a look, so stick around just to have a look at those and see what you think, and let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, so that's my very quick look at the iPhone 8 Plus. All in all, it's still a really nice phone. It's got really nice premium feel with this glass back and the aluminium rails. Is it a phone that I'd recommend buying in 2022? To be honest, if you can find it cheap enough on eBay or somewhere like that, it's still going to do you solid. But you can also buy the iPhone 10 for pretty cheap these days as well. So if you can stump up just a little bit more to buy a second-hand iPhone 10, I'd probably do that, in terms of if you're looking for pretty cheap iPhones that are still really, really good. Of course, iPhone 12s and 13s are going to be the best option, but of course you're talking massive jumps in prices for those. But if you're looking at the best you can get for as little money, iPhone 8 Plus is a good option. The camera's decent. Battery life, I think this one's got 86% battery health, so obviously they do degrade over time, but this is absolutely fine to get you through a day. If you're a power user, you might struggle to get through a day if you play loads of games and watch loads of video and all that sort of stuff. But if you're just someone like me who just plods along throughout the day, does a bit of social media, a bit of camera usage and a bit of watching videos, you'll be absolutely fine getting through the day. So again, that's my look at the 8 Plus. A lot of what I said will apply to the standard 8, minus the other camera and the smaller screen, etc. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you did enjoy this video, stick a like on it and do consider subscribing so you don't